I wondered why I couldn't say hello to you guys. Let me turn this music off. I was wondering why I couldn't say nothing as I had my mute muted because the mute muted? Ew. My mic muted. And it was because of the stupid dog in the background barking, and I didn't want it to go through the music to act like I was playing dog sound effects. But nevertheless, we are back again with episode 109. This is a very sweet interview. I really hope you all enjoy. Two people in one, and never tried it this way, but it turned out great, and hope you like it. And power to the people. I don't know. I just didn't know what to say. So I will see you guys. Well, I guess I'll see you guys in a minute because you're going to hear me again. So I forgot this wasn't the end of the episode. This is the beginning since I'm actually doing this last. So it really throws me off. Again, as you know, I am a mess. But see you guys in a minute. All right, guys, so we're back again with another one. As I said many times before, if you want to know where I find a lot of my guests, Podmatch is a great place. And every so often I go on there, I type in the search engine certain keywords like disability and disabled and, mental health, certain things. And every so often some new people pop up. And this time, for the first time, we're actually going to have two people on at once, a mother and daughter, and it should be good. So... as I talked to her mother yesterday, we got to know each other a little bit, and she pointed me in direction of some videos I watched, and they're very inspiring, and it kind of make you run through many emotions, but it's very inspiring, and I'm happy to get to know these people. And so, do you girls want to introduce yourself? I don't care who goes first.
Yeah. I'm Mary Angelini, co-founder of Gabby's Grounds and Gabby's Pals, and this is my daughter.
I'm Gabi.
Hello. Now, again, some of it I've gotten from the interview, and some of it I found out from you yesterday. But how many kids do you have? I think you said 5.
How many brothers do you have, Gab?
5 brothers.
5 brothers. You're the only.
Yes.
Okay, so there's 6 of you in total.
Yeah.
Is Gabby the only one? And again, I don't know whoever wants to answer. Is she the only one that has any kind of disability or condition?
Yep. What do you have?
Down syndrome.
Yep.
Right. So actually, this is for Mary because there's a period of time, Gabby, you weren't even in the picture. So, when you were having, you obviously had. What's the order as far as the oldest? Like, is she the youngest? Is she in the middle somewhere?
She's the 5th.
Okay, she's the 5th. So she's the second youngest.
Yep.
So when you were having kids, did you know anything about Down syndrome?
No, I really didn't. I mean, I think back in my childhood growing up, there was a lady who used to walk up and down our street to catch the bus. And, she was small in stature. She was kind of cross-eyed. And we never talked to her or anything, but, I noticed her. But, growing up in school, we didn't have any classmates with Down syndrome or any special abilities at all. So
right.
I really had no idea what to expect when they said, we're concerned she has Down syndrome.
Now, when they diagnose, how do they diagnose for Down syndrome? Is that something before she's even born? Is that something that comes later after she's born, or how does that work?
They can do an amniocentesis, and I believe that will tell you if there's inspection of any abnormalities, but it can also spontaneously abort the child. So I declined that offer to have the amniocentesis. It's a ginormous needle that they put through your stomach and take the amniotic fluid and test it. So I declined that and said, whatever this baby has, we'll deal with it. God won't give me anything that I can't handle. So we didn't do that. So at birth, they were able to tell, because they have a simian crease on their hand, goes across their palm and like her toes, like between her big toe and the next toe, there's a space and, just little markers they could tell. So, right after birth, they said, we're concerned that she has Down syndrome, but we're going to do a blood test to make sure.
Right.
So
you had some theories that she probably would turn out this way, but you weren't all sold in until they actually start doing these tests.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I mean, even the pregnancy, I kind of felt like impending doom, that something was not right. I thought I was going to lose the baby the whole time. Really, I thought I wasn't going to have it. Really felt like something's going on there. But the other thing too is because I didn't know anything. There was a group that we started called the Triangle Down Syndrome Network, and we created these notebooks, if you will, to give people in the hospital so that when they got that diagnosis, that they could read about it and read inspiring stories that, people who have Down syndrome are successful, because, sometimes the doctors don't realize and they tell you, the wrong things,
Right. Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, how much research did you start doing once she was diagnosed with that? Did you know anyone in your life that even had a child, or anybody in the family or anyone around that could even point you in the right direction?
There was a woman from my church that I was in a Bible study with, and I've known her for a long time, and her granddaughter, Megan, had Down syndrome, who had just been born a few months before Gabby. So she reached out to me, and, we had a lot of conversations, and then, there was this group that was starting with people who had a baby with Down syndrome, and actually another woman in that group, her and I worked in a different state for IBM, and she had a son with Down syndrome. So I looked across the room, was a familiar face as well. So the support group was instrumental for at least the first 5 years, and I think there was 15 people in our area that had a baby with Down syndrome. So we kind of clung together for those first 5 years before the kids started going to kindergarten and stuff. So it was any advice to anybody out there that has a child, like definitely find some friends that are going through the same thing, so you could bounce ideas off each other and be there for each other.
Right. And before we get to Gabby, like how just as a parent, as a mother, obviously you're very protective and, you love your kids and all, but how different was it from all your other kids, like the challenges and just, because there's got to be some really hard, because I know from what my mom went through. And again, it's the same thing as like a marriage. Like you don't know what you signed up for. You say you do, but then tragedies and certain things happen within the middle there. You just go like, oh, this was unforeseen. I didn't see this happening. So, like how, what were some of the challenges and how different really was it from obviously raising at the time 4 other kids?
Well, it's challenging having 5 kids to anybody. But she had some issues at the hospital after she was born, and they had to transfer her to another hospital to do surgery. And at that point, it kind of went from feeling like a victim, like what's the matter? Why did God do this? What happened? I'm a good person. Right. To, okay, this is my daughter, and now I need to stand up and fight for her, because I'm going to make sure these doctors and nurses are doing everything they can, because she's vulnerable and I need to protect her. So I kind of switched real quick in the game to that. So, when I brought her home, it was always, Mama Bear is going to protect her and fight for her. So it was like that through school, at all the IEP meetings. It was a constant battle with them. And I think it's better now, 20 some years later, right, for the people that are going through IEP meetings. It's a different world. And thank God people before us paved the way. So,
right. Yeah. No, it's still a struggle. Yeah. I've been in my IEP meetings and I've seen what my mom and certain people fought for me. And it's, there's still a lot of ignorance and certain closed-mindedness that people don't really understand what we need. There's certain things when you start to point out things that you do need, and they go, well, what about this? And you go, no, they don't need that. And then it's all of a sudden, it's almost like a downplay. Like, well, if they don't need that, then they should be fine. It's like, there's just certain things you need just to get through and to function better, to help you, normalize whatever it is that you're trying to achieve.
True.
And again, I've asked this to a few other parents that I've had on. Was there any kind of conversation to your other children about maybe you had to give Gabby just a little more attention because of what she was going through, especially at a young age? Because obviously there could be some jealousy issues type of thing.
No, I don't even think I told them that she had Down syndrome. We treated her just like everybody else, and I think that's her strong suit was that, four brothers and then another one later. You know, she did everything they did, and especially the younger one. He's 2 years younger than her. I mean, he kind of, raised her alongside with himself. You know what I mean? Whatever he did, she did. If he's riding a skateboard, she's right next to him riding a skateboard. If we went snowboarding, she's snowboarding right next to him. So, they kind of pulled her along and treated her just like anybody else. So we didn't treat her any different. She really didn't need anything different. I mean, she had heart surgery when she was, I think, 5. But that's just normal stuff that people go through and have surgery. But other than that, we didn't really treat her any different. I mean, she'd be sad sometimes, because the kids at school wouldn't invite her to birthday parties and stuff. But she didn't really, she didn't see the big picture of, but she saw her brothers getting invited or doing sleepovers, and she saw that she wasn't.
Right.
So that was the hardest part, I think, was being left out from the rest of the community.
Right. So, Gabby, how do you feel that was very beneficial for you in your life as far as having such a devoted and protective family?
Your brother's like taking care of you when you're growing up and skating with you and all that. What do you think? Do you think that was good for you?
It was really fun to be with my brother Quentin.
With Quentin, yeah.
The most. He's awesome.
He is awesome.
He always gets along with me. We always do sleepovers downstairs, make me milkshakes.
Yeah. So
it's fun.
He was your best friend, right?
He's awesome.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah, because I mean, I'm sure, Gabby, just at a young age, you're probably, certain people treat you differently, and there's things that are, I don't know, let's say you're turned down for certain things that you want. I mean, obviously, we'll get down to a certain point where you try to get jobs and all that, but, there's got to be a lot of frustration when you're just trying to just fit in, and some people just won't allow it.
Yeah, that's true.
So one of the things I thought was very important in that interview to hear, and it's something I've thought about, and I had a woman on who she works with children with special needs, autism, Down syndrome, and so on, and we were talking about how one of the things that you said in the interview about, or you and the other woman, about how there's kind of, they're this like basic version of us that they don't have a filter, but they're full of love, and they want just they want the love back. They want to know that they're doing well and so on. But like they have this part that like we all kind of lose when we get to like when life kind of beats us down, or we just experience life, where, they don't really have the whole, like they don't hate people. They just have love, and they just don't have a filter of how they go about it, but they're really like the purest form of kind of who we are.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Totally. Yep. Total, all love, 100% love. Even Gabby's book that she co-authored called Gabby the Puppy.
Yes.
That talks about being bullied, feeling bullied by your friend, and
in school.
And in school, they pushed her down the steps. So,
Yeah.
And then so you wrote about, how you overcame that with kindness, and just moved on, right?
Overcomer.
You're an overcomer. That's right.
So, what kind of helped you get through all that, Gabby?
God helped me through everything.
Okay. Yeah, because bullying can be very, very hard on someone. I went through it as a kid, and I actually got bullied by some of the teachers, believe it or not, too. But yeah, I mean, I had teachers who wouldn't let me go to the bathroom and just like made me sit in it. It was terrible.
Wow.
And then, kids would throw stuff at me and kick me and things like that.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's terrible. It really is. And then, I mean, I still have this certain feeling when I see even just like movies or television shows where you see a kid just kind of, whether it's because he or she's a little bigger or whatever it is, and they're being made fun of, is like there's a part of me that's still, there's just like innate feeling like I just feel bad for them, even if it's entertainment.
Yeah.
And I'm not super sensitive or anything. Like I have very tough skin, but there's a part of me that's just like, man, I just know what it's like to be that young TJ or Gabby, to just be picked on for whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I really like. I always try to stress that with someone like Gabby, who's just, such a great spirit and just a sweet person, and people preconceive them. They think these certain thoughts about them and what they think they know, but it's like, man, like, do you understand the stuff that they don't have is kind of the good stuff, because it's like they're really kind people. And yeah, maybe they don't take in as much information as we can, because I saw you talking about like math and saying certain things, but it's like, who cares? Like they don't stress life like we do. They don't worry about a lot of the stuff, and maybe some degree that isn't all great, but for the most part, it's like the fact that you can just get somebody in this pure form and they can just be kind to you, and you don't have to worry about them stealing or cheating on you or treating you like crap. Is very like heartwarming, and just it's awesome to know that even like people like that even exist.
That's true. That's totally true. I mean, wherever she goes, I mean, she just hugs people. I mean, people hug her. People just love her. I mean, really. I mean, even I think we posted on Facebook on her birthday. I think she had like 400 people wish her happy birthday on Facebook, because everybody just loves her. Once they meet her and she hugs them, they can feel that 100% pure love coming out of her. They just
they must smile.
That's awesome. Yeah, I would definitely hug you. Yeah, it's good to have that though. It's good to have, because because if you can kind of avoid letting her see more negativity than she needs to. Obviously, the bullying and that stuff was already part of it, but I mean, the internet, there's so much of that floods in. But if she can just see so much positivity that she gets from the videos she's done, just the people that she's met along her journey, it helps her to have a decent mindset and just to feel good about her reality and just about life.
True. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Because it's I don't know how much she can take in, but for me, like there's a lot of bad things going on in the world, and if you sit there and watch the news, you're just gonna think everything is terrible. But when you see someone like her who's just giving hugs to everybody, it's like, yeah, like, why can't we have more of this? Like, we're just fighting each other for masks or not wear masks, or who votes this way and who buys this type of phone and that. And it's like, you see someone like her and she's just like, no, I'll just hug you. I don't care about your color or gender or any of that nonsense.
True. You're exactly right. Seriously, that's exactly who she is. And most of her friends are the same way.
Yeah.
They just want to have fun.
And dancing.
And work and have a good time.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, and that to me, I put this out I said this in one of the interviews. I said, I would love to know what it would be like if everybody was just like blind for 2 months and everybody forgot what everyone looked like. When we were just blind for a couple months, and I was just using it as my experience. Again, I can see some, but if we were all blind for 2 months, like, how much would racism stop? How much would sexism, like all this, like all these things that we just automatically, the only thing you can go by is all your other senses. Because visually, people that's usually when we judge people, it's just off of visuals. And we just say, okay, that person is that because they dress this way, they do this, they do that. And I wonder how much things would change. Again, I think it would, but you never know. But it's the same thing with Gabby, where it's like someone who's so sweet. I wonder if we all in some ways had either Down syndrome or something close to it, where we didn't have any of these other thoughts, like how much the world would actually be a better place.
Oh yeah, totally. Exactly. I mean, I never thought about that, about not seeing anybody's color or anything or sexuality, like being blind like that. That is really life-changing right there. Seriously.
Yeah.
That's really something to think about.
Yeah, because, again, I'm getting to know you ladies, but it's like a lot of people don't want to know us. Like they want to think they know everything, and they see someone who struggles a little bit, and it's like, oh, well, they're struggling because of whatever. Like, they make up things in their head. They see someone who's homeless, and it's like they automatically assume that they're a drug addict or an alcoholic, and it's like, you don't know what mistakes they made that didn't have anything to do with it. Maybe they just whatever, their life was hard in one way or another, and maybe whatever it did, it translated into some decisions that they made, and now they're living on the street. And it's like, the fact that you can judge someone like that, like, we're all like, I think one of the things I try to stress a lot with people with disabilities is like, and the same thing with addiction issues and homelessness and stuff like that, like, we are all like with disabilities, we're all just one horrible tragedy away from becoming disabled. one
True.
way or another. Like you can trip and poke your eyes out and blind, or you can get into a car accident, paralyze yourself. Like there's so many ways of becoming that. Obviously, it's a little different in Gabby's situation because it's more how she was born, but it's still like it's not that hard to become disabled or homeless or any of these things. It's just how life plays out, and it's the fact that people can actually judge from afar and just see someone like Gabby, me, or anybody out there that's just struggling. It's like, do you understand? Like, there's a story to this, and the first person should probably be able to share their story to help them get out of this, shithole that they're in.
Yeah, I hear you. I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
it's true. They need to see with their heart, not with their eyes.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds so corny and hokey, but these things just get overused because people don't mean them. It's kind of like how marriage is, where it's like less than 50% of people stay together, so it's not really that sacred anymore. But it is sacred when it's meant to be. And so when you say things like what you just said, it's like, yeah, it's absolutely that. It's just people say things. Like people say, I love everything, but they don't really know what love means. And yeah. So Gabby, do you like realize like how much your family has like, sacrificed and just put in time just to help make sure you have the best life possible? Because I realized it with my mom.
Yeah, about your mom. So he's asking about me. So about how much, we've done for you. Yeah, I started.
We accomplished everything. When I love my mom because I always love her, no matter what. Right, Mom?
That's right.
That's great.
I love so much about my mom because it's good bonding with her.
That's awesome. Right? That's very, very sweet. And it was kind of talked about in that one interview, but what has kind of Gabby done for you in your life? Just, because I guess there was something you girls were saying in there about how much they brought to your life that you didn't really realize was missing.
Oh, I mean, it's just a totally different level. Like you said, like being blind makes you see the other people can't see. Even though you're blind, you're seeing clearer than somebody else who's not blind sees. You're seeing the truth, and that's the same thing with having Gabby having Down syndrome. It's like you see the world through different eyes now, and you see what's important in life, and how we really should be treating other people. Like you said, they're 100% love, and that's how we should treat others. And yeah, we don't live up to that every day, but we can strive for that. And just meeting all of her friends and seeing the different struggles they've gone through, and seeing how they're still happy and go lucky. And yeah, we should be thankful that they're in our life, because they are the ones that see the true meaning. They're the ones that see, they're like little glimpses of heaven. I mean, just, things they say, things they do, they're just fun to be around. And I wouldn't want to be around anybody else. I mean, they're awesome.
You're like family.
They are like our family.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, I mean, Gabby, you're like a huge bar that's set for your mother and people around you, that you're so infectious and you bring so much love to everybody that it's hard for your mother or anyone else to kind of mingle with anyone new, because you bring them so much joy that a lot of people don't bring or don't offer.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
No,
I know.
But you can even tell it in your voice, like how you're just super giddy and smiling, and I mean, this isn't a visual thing. Like I just can hear it, and you can just tell you're a happy person, which, in the time we're in, like it's super important to have people like you.
Yep, she's an inspiration. She's all optimism, this girl.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Somebody say, you having a good day? She's like, I always have a good day.
It's chill.
I always have fun, right?
I always do, Mom.
You do. You love life.
This is who I am.
You enjoy everything. Singing, dancing on the way to work.
It's my favorite part.
You just have fun the whole day.
I always do.
You do.
Especially with friends.
Yep.
Your mother says you play a lot of sports?
Yeah.
What's your
favorite? Do?
Yeah, what kind of sports do you play?
My favorite is the skiing.
Oh, skiing. Do you have the coordination to stand up?
Yeah.
All right, good for you. I don't think I would.
Taught her in Special Olympics, taught her how to ski in one day.
Wow.
Yeah.
I watched baby slope to the next slope, to the next slope, to the next slope.
All big ones.
In one day. You're amazing. You have no fear.
Nope.
That's awesome.
What else? You play tennis?
And basketball.
Tennis. You used to play hockey, ice hockey. What was it?
Your mom says you like to bowl?
Yes. Bowling.
What's your best game you've ever had?
My favorite is bowling.
What he's asking, like, what's your score?
Your highest score?
What'd you get last night?
95.
95.
And 85.
Pretty good.
Again, I don't know if she can answer, but like, what do you feel like is the hardest challenges with bowling for you?
It's hard to do without bumpers.
Say that again. I'm sorry, I couldn't understand it.
It's hard to do without bumpers.
Oh, without the bumpers. Yeah, yes, the bumpers. Yeah, I've never played with them, but yeah, I can imagine how much that's got to be much harder because you really have to have, if you have one of those balls where it doesn't curve, then you have to throw it as straight as possible. And if you don't, if you can't, if your form is off even just a little bit, and like I was telling your mom the other day, like with my eyes, like there's those little dots up there. I can't see those dots. So I'm kind of improvising. I'm just hoping that my spine and legs and arm and everything is straight as possible because if anything is off, it's going in the gutter.
Yep.
It could be very challenging. Are you you said you play basketball, right?
Yes.
You any good?
I do 3-pointers.
He's shooting 3-point. Hey, it's something. That's just I love that you're not afraid to try anything.
Yeah.
That's
fearless.
Yeah, but again, like that's. I mean, I guess there's certain when she has people like you and your family to protect her. I guess not having those type of feelings and emotions and things the fact that she doesn't really maybe have that in her is actually a good thing because it doesn't hold her back from being able to enjoy life in its entirety.
That's true. It's totally true. And she'll put that onto other people. So when she was learning how to ski that day, because every year for Christmas, that's what we would get the boys. We would take them snowboarding. And every year, Gabby and I would just ice skate at the bottom of the mountain. So when I signed up for Special Olympics, she skied that day. And I was just at the bottom of the hill, watching her. And she turned to me and what'd you say?
Let's face your fears.
I need to face my fears. I said, Gabby, I didn't ski in 20 years. She said,
face your fears.
Face your fears. So I'm like, you know what? You're right. So I went in there, rented skis, and learned how to ski all over again, right? And now we ski together.
Oh, yeah.
Because of you. You're an inspiration.
That's me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I guess she challenges you to kind of get off your butt and get out there. Can't sit around because she's going to do it.
That's right.
Not alone.
Yeah. No, and like I said, it's so great that like some of these things, like I said, the fact you don't have a lot of these issues that we all have. I have them. I deal with my depression all the time, and I worry about things that I probably shouldn't worry about, and I'd probably be much better off if I didn't. There's things I fear and things I don't want to attempt because I'm so, because of PTSD and everything I've been dealt with in my life. My life hasn't been easy, but I also I'm at a point in my life now where I appreciate more and I have friends that are totally blind, and I know that could have happened. And, I have friends that are in wheelchairs and people don't have any hearing and all these different conditions that I've interviewed and become friends with that, I know that my life could be so much worse. So I'm starting to really appreciate life and really enjoy me and everything I'm doing. But, I wish it didn't take this long because someone like you just come along and you just do whatever you want to do.
True.
That's awesome. One of the things before we kind of get to what she's doing and what she's trying to do for people with disabilities, can you talk about any like misconceptions and just a little information on Down syndrome? Because I know a lot of people have their own thoughts on what it is and all that, but is there any like real misconceptions that people have?
Well, everybody thinks that they're all like Gabby. Everybody's the same. Everybody's different. Everybody's not happy. Everybody's different. So they're not all, they're just all happy people. That's not true. And, they think that they can't do anything. It's like, you're slow or whatever. It's like, give them a chance. I mean, everybody's can do something. They might not be brain surgeons, but they can do something at work, and they'll be your most loyal employee. They're just dedicated to their work and doing a good job, and just so thankful that they have a job. So, don't judge people, like you said. Don't judge people by what they look like. Judge by their heart.
Yeah. And Gabby, you can answer this or your mom can, but what was it like trying to get out in the job market and trying to get jobs and people weren't allowing you, they weren't accepting you because of your condition?
I tried to get a job, but they didn't hire me because they assume I'm not really good to do it.
What did they say at the smoothie? First you applied to be in the childcare at a local gym, right?
Yes.
And they just said no.
They said no.
And then when you wanted to work at the smoothie part, what they say then?
They didn't try me, but they just said no. Anyways.
They said you'd be what?
Not good at it.
Yeah, you'd be too slow. They said, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't even let you try to make a smoothie.
Yeah.
They
did not let me.
They didn't even do it. Nothing, right? They just said
nope.
Yeah, I mean, and Mom, like, how aware are you of this as far until you had your daughter, or, however, when you figured this out, how aware were you of how hard it is for someone with a disability to get a job? I mean, I know you probably see somebody maybe doing some, bagging groceries or something here and there, but did you really know how bad the discrimination was for people like Gabby or anybody with a disability?
No, I had no idea. None. No idea. Not until her and her friends started going out to the job market did we all find out, like, oh, okay. They went through all of high school and did everything they had to accomplish and got their diplomas. But, once you go out into the real world, it's a whole different story.
Right. Because there's many ignorance toward, racially and just certain things. But, there's still certain, a lot of these jobs still have quotas in a way where it's like, oh, I have to have at least one black person here. I have to have at least one woman or whatever. But there really isn't anything for people with disabilities. They don't, have it really. I mean, there's nonprofits, certain places that hire people with disabilities, but in general, there's really not any jobs that are, I know there's the grocery store, Wegmans, or certain places that are good for that. But for the most part, a lot of places, even with me who, I go in, an intellect, and I'm talking and I'm saying what I can and can't do. And usually the things I can't do or things I say I avoid is just heavy machinery that I can kill somebody. But overall, trying to get a job at Lowe's, I'm just I was talking to a guy, he's just talking to me. He's like, yeah, I find you very inspiring. I really enjoy what you do and, what you're trying to do. And he, we'll get back to you type of thing. He was nice about it, but I knew he wasn't giving me the job. And it was just, and again, I was young. A lot of the people they were hiring were just these old people that probably couldn't lift anything. But because of my eyes, it's well, he's a liability, which I'm sure is probably what they perceive to be with her. I can't have her using a blender because she may put her hand in it or something stupid.
Mm-hmm. True, yeah. Even when she applied to be a bagger at a local grocery store, I mean, we must have applied 3 times online, and it wasn't just a one-page application. And they just kept saying they didn't have it, and and then when they finally did, take her application, and then it was yeah, we're not interested. I mean, I had to call the corporate office just to get her hired as a bagger.
Wow, that's horrendous. I mean, even something simple as being a Walmart greeter or something. Not to saying she can't do anything, more strenuous, but the fact that how infectious she is with her energy, just coming into a store, it doesn't have to be Walmart, but any store, and just hi, she's going to be super friendly and she's going to mean it. It's not just she's paid to do that. How someone wouldn't see that, even if she did work at a counter or something. But because there's a lot of these people, when you go into these stores, they either hate their job and they let you know it by their facial expressions and how they outwardly put their voice out there to you, or they are just super friendly because they feel like they have to kiss ass to the company and just say, look, I'm employee of the year. But with her, she would just be genuine, she would just genuinely be kind. And again, a lot of these companies are always about boosting morale. Well, Gabby's great for morale.
True.
Not only just because of her energy, but also it's like, look, we hired someone with Down syndrome, and she's the one that's bringing us all up. Like you can build the company around her in a way, at least for like, whatever it is, like a grocery store clerk or something. Like you can just say, look, she's doing this, and everyone else around her, they may not all love their job or love how much they're getting paid, but they have this girl around here who's just smiling and having fun, and her life is much harder than any of these other people's. So, it's boosting morale around here.
That's right. You're right on point there.
And that's something you were saying earlier about people with disabilities you were saying more towards her, but it's true for the whole community, where the ones that really do want to work and the ones that actually do get jobs, they try so much harder to show you that they fit in and that they belong there, because they're dedicated to a person who gave them an opportunity. And when you give them that job, even if it is the pay is mediocre, they're trying hard because you gave them an opportunity to show, because they're really judging themselves harder than a lot of us. We're judging ourselves harder than you could ever judge us. But when you give us an opportunity, it's like, I will show you that I can do this, and I'm dedicated. You have people coming in and out of here that don't care about anything that you're doing, but I'm here and I'm going to show you why I'm a good worker, because I have to try 10 times harder.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah, and like I said, it's very humbling, and I've had many people on here with different avenues of, not only like revenue stream, but also just ways of their advocacy. And I say, like, my way is through a podcast and doing speeches here and there and so on, but it's not all like, that's not the way you have to do it. Like, you find your own way. And I know you and Gabby have found your own way of doing that. So what kind of business have you two started, Gabby and Mary?
Well, when nobody would hire her, you always wanted what?
A restaurant.
You always wanted your own restaurant. So, and then nobody would hire you. So what happened?
Then I went to another coffee shop in Wilmington, and they had people with disabilities to work. Then I said, let's do it.
So instead of a restaurant, we were going to do a coffee shop, right?
Yep.
So then we came back home to Raleigh and
Did pop-up events.
And then we went to a local roaster,
Yeah.
Larry's Coffee, and you went and talked to him and told him what you wanted. You wanted to do your own coffee
Special
shop.
blend.
And what did he say?
He said yes.
He's going to do a special blend for you.
Special blend for me.
Okay, so then go ahead. We do
We do pop-up events, conferences for me to speak, and I think of my dreams.
And how they can achieve their dreams, right?
Yes.
How you achieve yours and how they can achieve theirs. And then we were saving for the coffee shop. And you were working out of our garage, right? Shipping orders.
Yes.
And then what happened?
Then COVID came. Then we pivoted to the warehouse, what God provided us to go to.
Yep. And then we started what?
We started Gabby's House.
What's Gabby's House stand for?
Packaging, assembling, labeling, and shipping.
Yep. And what do you do when you do that? What do you guys do? You do like stuffed pillows.
We do pillows for Furbish. We do nuts cannabis for vape pens.
Mm-hmm. Murphy's.
Murphy.
So how many employees do you have now?
I have 40 employees
With special abilities.
with special abilities.
Wow.
And 2 locations, right?
Yes, in Raleigh and Queenmore.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, you're one of the things I've talked about here a lot. Was that 75% of us are unemployed, and I mean people with disabilities. And you're doing your part to make sure that stops, and that's fantastic. You got to keep that up. Yeah, it's very, like I said, people do their own. They help and advocate through different avenues, and what you're doing with this, like it's something totally different from what I'm doing, but it's helping, and that's all that matters. Like, just continue to help and give people jobs, and not only that, but you're spreading awareness on not only you but others on what we go through and what we can do. You're creating jobs for people, and for people that no one wants to hire for some reason.
Yes.
Yes.
We're trying to change it. We'll hire as many people as we possibly can, and hopefully we can, spread this to other cities.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you just got to keep at it. It's it's never easy, but you keep doing it, and people pay attention to you. Obviously, I saw you met Kelly Clarkson, and it's like people like her. She's got a name. People who have some sort of fame, and they pay attention to you. It's unfortunate that you need to know certain people that have that kind of notoriety to make any headway, but when you know people with some sort of fame and just influence, you can get some things done.
That's right. You're totally right.
Yep.
What was I going to ask you? So what is your ultimate goal, Gabby, with this coffee shop? Do you want to just open them up all over the place? Do you want to what is your goal for the future with this?
For my business, I want to expand it to every beach I want to go to.
Okay.
Every beach?
Yeah.
All the beaches, huh?
Every beach. Be awesome.
Well, we don't have a coffee shop. We just have
Warehouse.
a warehouse where we do packaging, assembling, labeling, and shipping. So our employees all work at warehouses. We were doing well here. We have a little cage in the warehouse where we sell coffee and all her merchandise from, and we ship all over the country. Mm-hmm. So we are kind of pivoted away from the coffee shop idea. Maybe in the future we might look at a storefront because people come all over to visit her and see her, buy her coffee. So whatever God has in store for us, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean,
out to others, Yeah.
I think what's great though is you're not only changing the stigma of like how the world perceives us, but you're also changing how people with disabilities feel about themselves. Because I've worked at a nonprofit for a while, and there's a lot of people with disabilities. Mainly, it's basically all visually impaired and blind. But I remember saying to one of my friends there, and I said, "Hey, I wonder what this place would look like if we were all disabled, we all blind and visually impaired." And he said, and he's totally blind. He's a very strong guy. Like he does woodwork. He works with chainsaws, or not chainsaws, but like sanders and all kind of things that would easily kill him or hurt him. And he's totally blind. And so he's a very strong person in one way, but mentally he's been beaten down by like the system and just, everyone telling him he can only do so much with what he doesn't have. And so he said, well, that couldn't happen. And I said, why not? He said, well, what about the forklifts? I'm like, well, we have push lifts around here. Why can't we just get more of those? And we all just look out for each other. It's like there's, you could even hire people around here who are deaf, and they can be the eyes. And like there's ways of getting around everything. It's just we are told that we can't do so much, and we already have limitations. Like in my case, I can't drive. I know that, but you're not going to tell me, that I can't work or I can't do so many other things, because I can. You just don't know anyone like me who can, because there's not enough of us out there like Gabby who's pushing the envelope and saying, no, we can do way more than you think. And so, you're not only changing the perspective of able bodies, you're also changing people with disabilities, because you're giving them jobs, and you're showing that you could have a whole organization ran by people with disabilities.
That's right. That's totally true, right? All the employees have special abilities. The managers are the only ones that do not. And they have a blast together. They're laughing, playing songs, dancing, singing, dance breaks. Bowling once a week with everybody. We have
Wednesdays and Mondays.
Yeah, we have a class at a local college on Friday from 9 to 12 for everybody.
At Wake Tech.
At Wake Tech, where they learn different things. And so we're having fun. We're working. We're playing, and we're learning all together, right?
I love you.
We have a good time. I love you.
You've built this like community too. So you have all these friends, and you have all these people that, like, even if you were to get down, you have people that are going through it too, and you can just kind of look after each other.
Yeah. That's what they do, right? Lift each other up.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you said like some of the managers don't have any disability. Like, are they more like you, just like parents?
Two of them are parents, and one is not. One was a teacher and a just love people with special abilities.
That's great. Yeah, because you're just getting the best of people. Like you're getting all these people in one room who all have the same common goal and are just looking after each other. And there's no like, I mean, I'm sure there's some arguing or whatever, but overall, there's really no drama. Whereas in every workplace, there's always something.
Yeah, sometimes there's drama.
I'm sure, but you know what I mean. Like there's so much drama that like there's so many, things that you just don't have to deal with in an average work setting, especially at a factory, because I've worked in a factory for a while and there's so much drama.
No, it's fun here. People cracking jokes. People, hitting each other with the pillows.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's a good time. We have a good time. It's the best place I've ever worked.
It's just.
That's awesome. I did want to ask you, Gabby, what made you want to write a book?
I think somebody contacted you, didn't they? It's called Dan the Fish Theory.
Yeah. Kathy Gephardt, right?
Kathy Gephardt, right?
Yeah.
So she asked you if you wanted to write a book.
I think yeah.
Yeah. So tell them about your book. What'd you say?
It's called Gabby the Puppy. I love doggies.
You love doggies.
Who doesn't? I love dogs.
Do you have a dog?
Yes.
What's his name or her name?
It's Willow. He's a sweet zoo.
Aw.
It's too cute.
Aw, I bet. He's probably one of your best friends, huh?
Yes. He's
awesome.
fun.
What's for people, because I'll put it in the description whenever the episode does come out, but what's your website for people to know?
It's www.gabbysground.
Right? Yeah, .com.
And that's
one B.
And that's where you sell your coffee and everything. Obviously the grounds, but I'm just for the people that don't know, that's where you sell your coffee. And I saw there's like little packages and stuff you can get, hot chocolate and.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
New shirts, new mugs.
My favorite.
That's awesome.
Because we were Gabby's Grounds coffee shop, so we kind of when we pivoted, so now we're Gabby's, and under that is Gabby's Grounds Coffee, and under that is Gabby's Pals. So we kind of got two companies.
Two companies. Okay, that's great. I did want to say to you, Gabby, and I said a little bit of it off mic, and obviously your mom is a huge part of this too, because I'm very grateful for what your mom does, just because, like I said, it's a near and dear to my heart because of what my mom sacrificed for me, and we need more people like your mother who care so much for us, because there's a lot of people that give up on us, and so but directly to you, I wanted to just say I want to go more in depth on it. It's just I'm very proud and grateful for your existence, because you're changing minds, and you're putting information out there to the world that most people didn't have before you existed. You're informing others on what people with disabilities really are, and the simpleness and the specialness that we have. I've said this so many times that we're perceived to be the ones that are the broken people because something in our body is not functioning properly. But we're the ones that are always trying to fix and help people. And so there's this constant confliction on that. And for me, it's like I'm always trying to look out for others, and no matter how much people say I don't have what I don't have or whatever, I'm very grateful for what you're trying to do, and I'm very proud of everything you've accomplished, and I'm sure you're going to accomplish a lot more.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Mom, did we cover everything? Is there certain things you want to cover? I'm down for whatever.
I think we're good. I think we covered it all.
Okay, I just didn't want to leave anything out of her story, or anything that any information we can give anybody about Down syndrome, because like I said, there's people that think so many different things. And, I'll tell you right now, like every person I've ever talked to or interviewed that has a disability, they've all been perceived to be slow in one way or another. And obviously Down syndrome is a label that you get put on you that you're automatically just slow because, maybe certain things you can't take in, but it doesn't mean like everything she's done and everything that she stands for, there's nothing slow about her.
Nope, nothing slow about her. She's a fast girl.
Oh yeah.
That's great. So I guess we can end it then. Like I said, I hope we covered everything. I really do. And Gabby, if you ever need a friend or ever need anything, same goes to you, Mary. Obviously, I hope we keep in touch.
Absolutely.
But if there's anything you need from me, please just please reach out. My door's always open.
Okay. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank
God bless.
Yep, you too. We'll talk later.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys, that was very sweet, and I really, really enjoyed that. I didn't know how it was going to go because I never talked to Gabby. I really didn't. I only talked to Mary a little bit yesterday, so Mary was very tired, so she wasn't really saying much, so I was kind of worried that they wouldn't talk much, but then I saw the interview they did on Kelly Clarkson, which I was told not to really talk about because there's a very sweet video of her and her boyfriend named Nick, who also has Down syndrome, and he, I believe he died, unfortunately. And that's really sad because he seemed like such a great guy. They had him surprise her on Kelly Clarkson, but there's this really, and that's why I was tiptoeing around. I kept saying interviews because that was really the interview I was talking about, but I didn't want to really talk about it too much because of, she said it would make her cry, and so I didn't want to do that to her. There's a dog barking, stupid dog. But yeah, there's a video of them like meeting up at the airport again. And they haven't seen each other in a good long while, and they just run up and hug each other, and it's very emotional. It's very, very, very sweet video, man. I couldn't stop smiling. So I hope you all appreciate it and just check it out. If I get the link, actually I'll put the link in her website and everything on there in the episode description, so you can check it out. But yeah, I hope everyone is doing well, man. Please be grateful for what you have. If there's anything Gabby has taught me or you, just try to be grateful for what you got, man, and just challenge yourself and try not to let anyone hold you back. And trust me, I say that as I'm holding myself back half the time, but I'm trying more and more. So everybody just hang tight and try to find the good things in life. And I will see y'all on the next one. Bye-bye.